Everybody, welcome here to episode 4 of the Football Threesome. Today, we have the first ever Breakout Players Draft. So here, the 2024 Football Threesome Breakout Draft is officially open. Chris is on the clock.
I also just want to say behind us, we have some extreme examples of breakout players.
Yeah.
Nico Collins, Justin Madubuike, Geno Smith, and Quincy Williams. So
Yeah.
we're not saying that the players that we're drafting today are going to be like them, because like I said, these are extreme examples. Players that have either made the Pro Bowl or were an All-Pro selection. But these players are trending in the right direction, so we think that could happen.
Yeah, this is the general idea and the spirit of what we were trying to get at here with the Breakout Draft. And again, it is only week 6 or week 7 of the NFL season. So it might be a little bit too early to say, hey, these are officially breakout players, but we can kind of gauge where some of these players are at, if they're going to continue their progress or if they're going to just lay flat on their face from here on out. So draft order 1, 2, 3, and it's a snake draft. So then Dylan will get the first pick after that in the following round, and it will keep flipping. So, with the first pick in the 2024 Football Threesome Breakout Draft, Chris K is now on the clock.
That was a mouthful.
Oh, just to mention that we're going to be doing 3 rounds of this.
Three
Each
rounds.
of us will be ending up with 3 players. Maybe we can extend it a little bit more, but
The undrafted free
And
agent.
then
Undrafted free
in the
agent.
comments, let us know who won the draft. It's going to be me.
it's
but,
going to
you
be
know,
me
yeah.
because I have number 1. And clearly,
Are you the most humble?
Hmm?
Are you the most humble?
I just let my game do the talking.
Oh.
you're the most humble. Well,
Wait, you're drafting or your game? All right, Chris.
Okay, all right,
Who's your first selection,
Okay.
man? Who do you got?
Okay, enough said. I will be selecting Chuba Hubbard from the Carolina Panthers.
Number
this year.
1 overall?
Number 1.
That might be a
overall.
reach. That might be a reach.
I don't think so.
You
I
don't take running
think
back in
so.
the first round.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, okay, Chris, he was on my. He was considered. He was considered. Is he a number 1 overall pick? I don't know. But here, explain yourself.
I will explain myself. I mean, he's on pace to crush his career highs for rushing yards and receiving yards. He was one of my favorite players last year. I was just gonna say that he had almost no yards after contact. It was really bad. His metrics were really bad, and he was such an inefficient runner. He would get maybe 30 touches a game, and end up with something like 90 yards. It was terrible. But we've really seen him take a step, and that's something that I've really loved watching him. Maybe Andy Dalton gave him a little bit of a boost because he didn't have a good first game. He only had like 6 carries, something like that. But he's averaging now almost 6 yards a carry. What is he have, like 400 yards, 500 yards? He's gonna destroy 1,000 yards rushing alone if he keeps this up.
I think he is top 3 in rushing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's looked amazing, and he's from Canada, so you gotta support your Canadian boys out there.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree. He's definitely provided a huge boost to whatever the Carolina Panthers offense is. He's definitely been a huge weapon for Andy Dalton ever since he came in. And I got to watch Chuba Hubbard this past week when the Falcons played them. And yeah, like you said, I mean, he was getting around like 5 to 6 yards a carry, and like we just could not stop the run. So yeah, I think he's been a great addition to the Panthers offense this year.
He was looking like someone that was trending towards a career of a mediocrity, maybe bouncing around the league, like a Cam Akers. Shout out Cam Akers for getting traded today. But
Back to the Vikings.
I mean,
Back to the Vikings.
it is early to say that, but he's a star. He's by far my favorite breakout player of this year so far, and
I mean, he definitely overtook Miles Sanders as the running back.
100%. I mean, it's an interesting situation because Jonathan Brooks is coming in soon, but you can't take the ball away from him right now. He's hot.
Yeah.
No, and honestly, that might be the best thing because Jonathan Brooks is coming off of a serious leg injury. You'd probably not want to make him the workhorse running back 1 as soon as he comes back. So at least you can kind of ease his way in, and if it gets to the point where you can't really get the ball out of either of these guys' hands, that's a good problem to have. I don't know if that would have been either of our first overall
He was
picks.
definitely in consideration. I mean, like maybe
But
in the later rounds. When,
Yeah, not the first
I
round.
don't think
not-
he was going to go to 6. And
I
wanted him.
I will say this: he definitely is one of the
That's fair.
better offensive breakouts this season, and it's surprising because, like you said, throughout his early career, like he was just okay.
I mean, I don't
Like-
think it was that bad of a reach. What are you guys going to pick, like Cal Van Noy or something?
Kyle Van Noy's the 34. Okay, with the number 2 pick in the draft,
I'll take my guy, man.
I don't think I'm going to take our guy. Most important position in football. It's hard to get these guys in general, not just for a breakout draft. I'm going to go with Sam Darnold here with my number 1 selection here. I mean, Sam Darnold, I think a lot of people ruled him out, right? Was a backup last year in San Francisco, had a decent start of games in Carolina, and obviously didn't work out in New York. And I just think that he has really just revived his entire career. He's living up to that number 3 overall pick pedigree that he was drafted at back in 2018. And most Vikings fans, we thought we were going to be 1-4 at this point. And here he is, a key reason why we are 5-0 at this point in the season. He's done such a great job. And again, like, it's hard enough to just get a quarterback that is good, let alone one that's going to break out after all of the events that Sam Darnold has gone through in his career. And I mean, this is a guy who people early on in the season, I don't think it's going to, finish this way, but was in the MVP conversation, which is crazy because it's Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold and MVP, it's like oil and water. It's not supposed to happen at all. So I'm super happy as a Vikings fan to have Sam Darnold, and I'm also happy to have him as my number 1 pick here in my class of 2024 for the breakout draft.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely is.
Reach is crazy.
He definitely is overachieving in certain people's eyes. But, I mean, when you look at Sam Darnold's career, he was always on, like, okay offenses, okay teams.
Okay.
Yeah.
Trash.
Okay. Yeah, the Jets to the Panthers, and then he finally went to a good team, the Niners last year, but he was primarily he was the backup. And, he finally got his fresh new start on I would say, a very good organization when it comes to, like, treating players well and just overall just being good, And, yeah, he's absolutely balled out. I mean, yes, he has Justin Jefferson and then Aaron Jones and Jordan Addison, but, I mean, I don't think anyone expected this. So
No.
Yeah.
No.
1-4 is a little harsh, but, yeah, I definitely didn't think you guys would be undefeated so far in the year. I'll say that.
Well, I mean, I think it's harsh, but it's realistic, right? 49ers, that's a tough one. Houston, that's a tough one. Green Bay and Lambeau, that's a tough one. And then, I mean, maybe the Jets. That could have been.
I probably would have had you
from
guys
the
at like 2
so,
and 3.
2-3, 1-4. You get the point. But I think, like, it's not just amongst players on new teams. Like, Sam Darnold is one of the better quarterbacks in the National Football League right now. So I think that this was a great pick for myself. But any thoughts? You said reach.
Do you want to go to my guy, or you have any thoughts?
I don't even think he's the best breakout quarterback of the year.
Do you want to wait on that, or do you?
I'll wait.
Okay.
I'll wait. That's all I'm going to say. But I do like the pick.
Well, too bad, because I'm taking Chris's guy. I know who it is. It's Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, my.
So Braden was talking about importance, on a particular side of the ball on the offense. I'm going to go to the defense side of the ball and probably go to the most important position on the defense side of the ball with edge rusher. And with the 3rd pick in the 2024
Football Threesome
breakout draft, I'm going to go with Will McDonald. He has absolutely just burst through the scene this year. With Bryce Huff leaving and doing absolutely nothing on the Philadelphia Eagles, and then Hassan Reddick not showing up. Will McDonald has absolutely, like, solidified himself as, like, the starting edge rusher on that team, like the number 1. And yeah, I think he has like 7 sacks throughout the year so far. I think that's tied for second in the league right now, and he's definitely going to pass Aiden Hutchinson. Shout out Aiden Hutchinson for absolutely just a devastating injury, man.
Yeah,
devastating,
that's
but,
terrible.
Yeah, I mean, Will McDonald has absolutely exceeded everyone's expectations. He's finally. I think he was a first-round pick. He was like a late
first-round pick. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely like solidifying into that star. So.
Yeah, and
kind of carrying that defensive line right now.
Absolutely. And in general, I mean, Will McDonald was regarded as a project player, one that some people didn't even think was going to go in the first round, possibly early second. So to see him actually develop into that edge rusher that they thought he could be, I think is a huge plus for the Jets. Yeah. On top of it, with Hassan Reddick choosing not to play either, like this is even bigger in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, I like the pick.
I mean, his last year was it was atrocious.
It was non-existent.
Yeah, but now McDonald. I'm loving it.
Yeah, I mean,
oh hell no!
I mean, yeah, because I forget who was tied for second with him, but I mean, Aiden Hutchinson was at 7.
Kyle Van Noy.
Kyle Van Noy.
It might have been Kyle Van Noy with 7, or he's close to it at least.
Yeah,
but I mean, 7 sacks. I mean, that's averaging a sack a game.
Yeah, he's absolutely along with Quinn Williams. He's amazing. But I mean, yeah, he's been wrecking it on the field. I also have back-to-back picks. So with the 4th overall pick, I'm going to go with my boy Drake London. Now, I wouldn't say that this is really surprising to me because I knew that the talent was there. He just didn't have the roster around him to showcase that. But, I mean, these past couple weeks, he's definitely solidified himself as the number 1 in the Falcons and maybe even a top-team receiver in the NFL right now. I would think that. I don't know if they might have their opinions on that. But, I mean, Kirk Cousins has absolutely just been throwing the ball up to this guy, and he has been performing. Whether it's contested catches, run out to the catch, I mean, he's just absolutely insane right now. And like I said, really not surprising to me. I knew that the talent was there. He just didn't have the quarterbacks, Marcus Mariota, Desmond Ridder, to provide that for him. And now that he finally has Kirk Cousins, he can showcase that. And it's helpful having complementary weapons as well. And, Darnell Mooney, Kyle Pitts is finally playing good now. our running game too. So yeah, I'm very excited that Drake London has finally popped off, and broke out into the scene. Any thoughts?
Okay, yeah, I guess I'll go then. I mean, I think it's just, for Falcons fans, I think it's just good to see that your top 10 selection is doing top 10 type things. And of course, it's almost it's nearly impossible to do that without a competent quarterback. So, wow, I mean, do you have to change the draft board or something?
Don't ever notice, man. Don't ever notice.
All right. But yeah, anyway, I mean, Drake London, I honestly, I'm happy for him, okay? Because this is a guy that I didn't really think was worth the top 10 pick. I thought he was going to be a back end of the first round type of guy, but I mean, he's really putting his versatility on the football field now, right? And all the things that Dylan said is spot on evaluation. I think that this is a solid pick. Oh, wait.
I'm just laughing because I think I took two of Chris's guys, so we had to go to his list.
I had to relook at my list.
He did have to look at his draft board.
I kind of clicked when he was running back, but
Your draft board.
Had to go
here?
so I think it's safe to say that I'm beating Chris right now when it comes to the draft.
And I had to talk to my scouts real quick.
Oh, okay,
Whoa.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Actually, some guys moved up. Some guys moved up.
I do have a question though. I mean, do you guys think Drake London is performing as a top 10? I know, like, if we were to just rank our 10 receivers, just if you were to draft onto a team, but so far throughout the season, because here, for example, I wouldn't take him above Devontae Adams, but so far this season he's been better than Devontae Adams because Devontae Adams.
That's true.
And for example, Nico Collins is probably the best receiver in the league right now. Even though through a draft, I would take Justin Jefferson, of course.
So with this criteria, would Tyreek Hill bump out of the top 10?
Yes, because he has done
Then
nothing.
yeah, Drake London's done a great year so far.
Statistically, yeah. Statistically speaking, yeah.
Well, he's had half of his yards last year.
Yeah, and his touchdowns
with
are,
10 less games.
His touchdowns. I don't remember the last time we scored more than 35 points, and we've done that the past 2 weeks. So I'm gonna cry.
Kirk O'Chains, man.
I'm gonna cry. Kirktober.
All right. I'm going to try and balance out my team as Dylan did. I'm going to go with somebody on the defensive side as well. This one I think might be on the fence in some people's minds, depending on what team you watch. But my second pick in this draft is Xavier McKinney. I think Xavier McKinney has been a really. I mean, he's been a good player on the Giants, but this year with the Packers, I mean, he's solidifying himself as one of the best safeties in the league, right? I mean, the guy's got an interception in every single game. I don't think he got one this past weekend.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
It doesn't matter. He already has 5.
He has 5. That's insane. And I think it's him and Jesse Bates at the top of the safety conversation right now. Right? You could maybe put someone in Antoine Winfield, but that's besides the point. Xavier McKinney is on a good defense now, unlike his time in New York, and he's proving what kind of talent he is. So I think your ability to be a ball hawk in the secondary, I think, is a huge attribute, right? I mean, that's why guys like Deron Bland, Trevon Diggs, right? They get so much acknowledgement because of their ability to just get the football into the hands of their team again. I think that's just huge. It can flip the entire momentum of a game, and we've seen it happen countless times in Green Bay Packers games where Xavier McKinney just has this play and it just re-energizes everything. So, again, I think he's in the conversation for top 2 safeties in the league right now, and I would consider that a breakout year because I don't think we've seen anything relative to that production in McKinney's career.
I don't know why teams keep lobbing the ball towards him.
I don't know either.
Shout out Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, Matthew Stafford is just the freest pick ever to him, and it's I don't know why people. I would throw on the opposite side of the field whenever he's on the field because, he's just a turnover machine. So
yeah, but I think this is the thing too because you're gonna see that and be oh, stupid throw by the quarterback, easy catch by the defender.
No, it's still a great play.
The ball goes to certain guys for a multitude of reasons, and whether it's him just being able to disguise his coverage really well, or just make the quarterback think they have an open window, and then suddenly they close that gap quicker than they can anticipate. Those are all things you have to consider, and it's not like Xavier McKinney doesn't have that top-end athleticism. I mean, there's a reason why he went in the top of the second round when he got drafted. McKinney's a really good player, and that's what happens when you go from a crappy team to a good player, and you
I will say this, the Giants team is terrible, but I feel like the defense was always
the defense
was definitely always solid.
No, it was.
It was the opposite.
It was, but during his entire time there, it probably doesn't help that he never had a pass rush.
Yeah.
Now he's got Kenny Clark. He has Rashawn Gary, Lucas Van Ness, Preston Smith. That's going to help you. The defense is, football as a whole is a complementary sport, but he is really making the most of his opportunity right now. So, All right.
You're talking breakout. I mean, he's one of the biggest breakouts.
I think it's a value pick here in the second round.
Slipped.
I think so.
It's crazy because like he's playing so good to where he's like a breakout because like if you're not a casual like like he said Evan McKinney was like a good safety like it was hard to like break out from where he was but he's playing so exceptionally well right now that's like
he's like ADP 5 or 6 but true talent is 2 something like that.
Yep.
What does that say about the Giants? Like you touched on it, Julian Love once he left he broke out too.
Oh yeah.
That's
a good point.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, like I said, like the Giants' defense, like I wouldn't say they're bad. Like I would say they're middle of the pack. I mean, like now, like their D line is really good now.
I mean, just like you said, the Giants' defense they've never been bad.
Yeah, they've been
But when
bad.
you're on the field for 45 minutes a game, you're gonna get points scored on you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is too is like during McKinney's time in New York too, they were a super blitz heavy team. I think they blitzed close to 40-50% of the plays.
Oh, so that was because they had the DC from Michigan right now. What's his name?
Wink
Martindale or something.
Wink Martindale, yes, Wink Martindale. Wink Martindale was notorious for
he
just sending everyone, right? So like now that you have an opportunity to sit in a defense, which the Packers, I can't come up with his name, but he was the defensive coordinator, head coach for Boston College last year. Like they're playing a lot of too high and just letting these guys just go out there and make plays on the football, and that's exactly what you see here with McKinney, week in and week out, literally. So. Different type of defense. You're asking him to do completely different responsibilities, and I think they're really just putting him in the best skill set or utilizing his skill set to the best of their abilities. So, yeah.
All right.
Pumping up my guy.
Pumping up your guy.
Yeah.
I know it's hard to pick someone right after Xavier McKinney because he was definitely high up on my
back
board.
to his list, it was like, oh yeah, Xavier McKinney for sure, and he came back.
Well, I didn't think he would get to me, but I was hoping. Because
I did not think. I thought Xavier McKinney was gonna go like with one of your two.
He
picks.
survived.
He took Sam Darnold and
He survived.
Hubbard.
It's almost like we got the Chris K big board leaks. Someone snuck into the draft room, man.
No, you brought up a good discussion about the Cowboys
Scouts.
secondary and like how like they get a bunch of picks, but like you stated, like they also get the ball thrown a lot of way because they do give up a lot of yards. Like Deron Bland and Trayvon Diggs like were notorious for like you said like not as returning touchdowns, but what Deron Bland was, but like getting a lot of picks. But when you really look at it, like they also allow a lot of yards against them as well. So they get the ball thrown a lot their way, you know. And there's some good and bad with that. Like if you're Deron Bland, you're returning like 6 touchdowns. It's like okay, you're probably a positive on the field, even though like you give up a ton of yards. But
yeah. Well, I mean, like here, like think about it from like this perspective. Like I think that they're missing Deron Bland right now.
Yeah.
Like he hasn't played this year. I mean, the way that their offense is played, they could definitely use a touchdown from the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
You know, and like I don't think Deron Bland is so bad in coverage where it's like, oh yeah, we're giving up significant yards or giving up a touchdown here because he's on the field. Like no, it's going to be the other way around. You know, I mean, getting points from the defense it's rare.
Yeah, and I drafted CeeDee Lamb number 1 in fantasy this year. So Dak Prescott, can you please throw to him more?
yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
Can I say this live? Dak his ass. Can I
He's
say this
not.
live?
He puts up numbers, but he's terrible.
Yeah, Dak is. I thought last year was insane, but
That video of him, that meme that people keep using of him like dancing at that party,
oh,
is
yeah,
hilarious.
Oh, the wedding.
And then he said some wild thing. He was like, just jump ready, or something like that. He said like some crazy stuff, bro.
He's
Like,
jump
talking
off if you want. Jump off.
about-
if you
Yeah,
want.
he's talking like the bandwagon, but it was like, yeah, you probably could have said that.
Yeah.
All right, who's
Yeah,
your-
commercial break is over.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
back.
moving
Final pick of the
on.
second round.
Final pick of the second round. This is someone that I probably think that you guys wouldn't have drafted, but it's
Again. Okay, sorry.
But it's one of my favorite players so far this year. From the Colts, I have Nick Cross, the safety.
Wow.
And he's not a flashy player. He's been pretty much a role player, if not like a backup, pretty much, right, for the last few years. But he's jumped onto the scene as like a tackle monster this year.
Yeah.
In the Colts games that I've watched, which is like not that many, he's been incredible. He's not a ball hawking guy, but he's got an interception already this year. He's got a forced fumble, and he's got 60 tackles, 60 total tackles in 6 games.
It's funny because I feel like the Colts always have like a guy that like down their defense where like they just rack up tackles, whether it was like Shaquille Leonard or like Zaire Franklin or was EJ Speed? Is that
EJ Speed.
Like they just like tackling. When it comes to tackles, like tackles isn't the best stat to say like, oh, you're like a really good defensive player. But yeah, I mean it's crazy.
Yeah, and he's not gonna be. Like, social media is not going to hype him up because he's getting tackles.
Yeah.
But in terms of breaking out in his position, he's going to get paid. Like, this is great for Nick Cross's career. And he's for him to have this breakout season to show that he's probably one of the best tacklers as a defensive back in the NFL. I mean, it's amazing what he's doing right now.
Yeah, and like you said, he has 2 turnovers this season already, so he's not just on there just to tackle like a Blake Martinez, you know.
Career high for forced fumble, and tied a career high for interceptions with both one in a year.
It's really a breakout year.
I think the thing is too, like with the secondary players, like being able to tackle, I think is like absolutely huge. I mean, it's you're the last line of defense. I know that's like the cliche of like the safety position, but like you have a lot of cornerbacks and safeties in the league that can't really tackle on a consistent basis. They can't match up in size with a lot of the running backs or some of the tight ends. So I think to have that, I think is absolutely huge. I didn't think Nick Cross was gonna go in this draft.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, but.
Hey, real ones know.
That's one of those like 5th, 6th round picks that end up breaking out like an Amon Ra. But
when was he drafted? Nick, in real life, was 2nd or 3rd or something?
Nick
like
Cross.
That? I know he drafted
good
good
one.
2022 is when he got drafted.
I want to say Nick Cross was a day 3 pick.
Really?
But I'm not like super confident. I mean, like you said,
that just sounds like a round 2 name though. Like a mid round 2 name.
It really does.
I mean, okay, here, like you said though, like what is it called? It's I don't know. It's a tough one. I don't know how to.
I mean, he's on pace to go maybe like 170 tackles.
I know, but I don't know. Yeah,
he's not flashy at all. But in
I mean,
it's a tough one. It's a tough one to break down.
In terms of breaking out, like yes, compared to what he did last season, but like
he had 39 tackles last season.
I do think there are still a couple options on here that would have been better, but
that's true. You know,
but,
and I'm showing love to Nick Cross out there.
That's like a shout out player moment, you know? Like shout out to some guy that like casuals won't know, you know?
Yeah, I think Dylan's right. Like this is one where like you pick out someone from the crowd and you say, hey, announce the pick for us. You know, yeah. I don't know if Goodell
get out here
should be announcing Nick Cross in round 2.
Yeah, dude. This is like actually,
Chris is getting a lot of scrutiny right now for his draft.
Hey man, Joey's probably gonna vote for Chris. Shout out Chris, man.
He's on pace for 3 interceptions, 3 forced fumbles.
Wow, Xavier McKinney already passed that, and that's Braden's breakout player.
We got drafted before mine, so you know what?
All right. Okay, so moving on to my pick here.
Hey, I got
he's back to back.
Oh wait, I'm sorry.
Yeah, man.
Hey, and you know what?
Dude, let him pick this like random player, bro. Come on.
Yeah.
This is probably
your best,
like a shout out player.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Chuba Hubbard's my number 1. He's going number 1. But this is someone who I've been following since he got drafted. He's someone I have a really big appreciation for, and he's on the same team. It's Alec Pierce.
Oh,
I loved him coming out of the draft.
That's what I thought you were gonna say the first time. I thought you were gonna say Alec Pierce.
Dude, you're like a mind reader. You're a clairvoyant, you know.
And then he ended up saying it anyway. So
you're just early. But yeah, I mean, he's like a 6'3", 215 kind of guy.
Yes, that's what he is. That's what he is.
He's a football player. You know, he catches the ball. No. But he's a big guy, and he runs a 4.4. He's like surprisingly fast.
He's a serious deep threat
for how big he is, and he's always been like a spotty kind of guy. Yeah. Like he's had his moments, but I think he's really broken out this year as like a serious deep threat. Yeah. Like I know maybe not super exciting, but like a Rashid Shaheed kind of guy where he can catch an 85-yard touchdown. In a second if you're not paying attention to him.
I think Alec Pierce is what the Jaguars wanted Gabe Davis to be, and he's not.
That's a great comparison, Gabe Davis.
Yeah, because especially this year, like every other week you're like, oh, Alec Pierce doesn't have like 75-yard touchdown. You're like, oh, and that's all he really provides. Like
he's a true boom.
He has he has like 3 receptions for like 110 yards and a touchdown because that one.
You're gonna put him on a deep post on a play action pass, and if he's single cover, you're gonna throw it.
And then you have a quarterback in Anthony Richardson, and also Joe Flacco. Oh, I'm trying to give hope out there to the Colts fans that Anthony Richardson is their QB for the future, and not a
comeback 40-year-old like
Joe Flacco. But I mean, yeah, especially with like the arm that. Sorry, that guy just stared at me. So the arm that Anthony Richardson has, I mean, Alec Pierce is definitely a true deep threat.
He can catch one of Anthony Richardson's 10 completions in the game.
But one of them is like that one highlight clip where he's like off his back foot and like launches it like 80 yards, you know. So.
He's like Cam Newton, but not as good.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, no.
He's not Cam Newton. Yeah, he's not. You know, honestly, I think if you took Alec Pierce round 2 and then Nick Cross round 3, it might have looked a little bit better.
I'm saying, bro.
I mean, it doesn't matter, but
like
on paper,
it kind of flipped, you know.
It could have been construed as racist or something.
I mean, it doesn't really matter to Chris though because he had the back-to-back, so it's like
Yeah, no,
It
no.
doesn't
I'm
really
saying
matter.
it doesn't matter. But if you look at it on paper, it's
Yeah.
like, how is Nick Cross going
Yeah.
round 2? You know, if he goes round 3, that's like, but it's just
Like in our
you get what I'm
fantasy
saying.
draft, when I had pick 12, I picked Marvin Harrison first,
Yeah.
and then Garrett Wilson second.
Yeah,
It could have been flipped. I just wanted to take Marvin Harrison first
true.
because he looks like the Predator.
If you've seen the Predator movie, that is. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, moving on.
Yeah, now it's my pick. Sorry. I jumped the gun on that one. I was already like deciding who my pick was gonna be, and you didn't pick.
Go
him.
ahead and pick your bum. Let's go.
Yeah, not my ball.
Nah.
My ball.
Go
My,
pick
my,
Daryl
my,
Hodge.
my team is starting to look good. My breakout player
Done.
here for round 3 is Jordan Mason. Now, I actually talked about this with Dylan because I brought up to him like, hey, like this is probably gonna be one of my players, but I'm happy that he's here at this point. And he said, Jordan Mason's a guy who pretty much you just put him in the offense and it doesn't matter who you're gonna have back there. And like I understand, like that's a good point. But also, if anyone told me that they knew who Jordan Mason was before this year started, you'd be lying. You'd be lying. You either have to be a 49er fan or a Georgia Tech fan because no one knew about Jordan Mason. And the one thing that I tell Dylan is like, Elijah Mitchell is terrible in this offense. So it's like not everyone can just go into this offense and run it the way that Jordan Mason has been doing it. I think that he's done a great job filling in the shoes of Christian McCaffrey, who I think and still is a significant loss to that team. But I mean, you can only ask so much out of your backup running back, and I think at this point, like Mason looks like one of the better running backs in the league and a starting caliber at 1, maybe for after this year is done. But yeah, I think he's done a really great job again, just filling in the shoes of Christian McCaffrey. He's obviously not going to be starting after that, but up until this point, I think he's done a really good job. But let me hear it.
Yeah,
Let me
no,
hear it.
I like this pick, and he's definitely one of the top breakout candidates of the year.
Yeah.
But he's just like an unsexy pick to me, because you could put anyone in this offense, and they'll be good.
But you just said that Elijah Mitchell proved that.
No,
Elijah
okay,
Mitchell
but, okay,
sucks.
but here's
Yeah.
the thing. There's a lot of factors. Right. I mean, you can just say that now. But like the thing is, like the 49ers do a great job of identifying talent that's going to fit well in their schemes. So it's more than just Jordan Mason. This is a collaborative effort to get the right people in. Like, not everyone is going to succeed in this offense. There are probably some really high caliber running backs that cannot play in this scheme. I think a good example of that is like, look at how quickly Dameon Pierce fell off the map in Houston because they run that type of scheme in Houston, and he just doesn't fit. So I think like they have the right players in the right spots, and I think that's another reason why this scheme is so good is because you have guys that fit the mold that they want, understand their assignments, and go out and execute.
Yeah, I understand. And I'm not taking anything away from Jordan Mason. I think he's really skilled. He's a really great runner that we wouldn't have known if McCaffrey was still there.
Yeah.
Like,
Or if he was healthy.
Jermichael Hasty was decent in this offense. You probably put one of us in there.
I was telling
1.1
Brady,
yards
like
per
even
carry.
like Isaac. I don't even know how to say like Garindo or whatever.
Yeah, Garindo.
Yeah.
Garindo, like I think even he had more than 100 rushing yards.
But Seahawks defense.
Like, okay, you can't keep using that excuse. Sorry, man. Like, it only gets you too far. Okay.
It's the same thing. They were so
Well, I
hurt.
mean, hey, yeah, you were saying that about the Seattle defense last week, how they were hurt, and that's why this and that was happening.
Oh, everyone was still out.
Most of them were out.
Okay, so
Byron Murphy was
everyone
out.
did most of them, and it still happened. So, I just think this shows how good the 49ers offense is. And you were talking about how great they are at finding talent. Like, yeah, Trey Lance was definitely a really good pick, right?
Well,
Fine
I mean,
talent.
no, it wasn't. I mean,
They-
no one's
I mean,
perfect.
here,
No one's perfect.
I'll say this: it's insane that we're even saying that like he's filling Christian McCaffrey's shoes because it's Christian McCaffrey and like no one can really fill those shoes. So yeah, I think when it comes to statistics, he is having a breakout year for sure. Because
When's Jordan Mason getting that Lowe's commercial?
who's in that commercial with Christian McCaffrey? Is it Mahomes?
I think it's one of the
No,
tight
is it
ends.
Kelsey? I think it's Kelsey. It's Kelsey.
It might have been maybe Kelsey.
Well, again, I mean, that's why Jordan Mason is here in the 3rd round, and that's why I'm happy taking him in the 3rd round because he is a player where if you put him in the right scheme, I mean, he's gonna do a good job. And I mean, obviously, you want him to be a little bit more durable. You wanted him to last all the way up until Christian McCaffrey came back, which obviously is not the case. He got knocked out of that game with that shoulder injury. But I mean, I would just have a hard time taking it away from him. I mean, he's the number 2 or 3 total rush yards in the entire league right now.
Looking solid.
Like I mean, there's gonna be a lot of guys who will never be able to say that in their entire career. So, I mean, I like Jordan Mason. I think he's good. I think
Chuba
he's
Hubbard,
good.
who was the pick?
It's pretty clear that we have someone who's running away with this draft right now. As we move into our last pick over there,
It's me.
it's me.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
Third.
All right, guys, with the last pick in the 2024 football threesome breakout player draft, I have a guy that Chris mentioned earlier, Rashid Shaheed. I think Rashid Shaheed
my
has
God.
absolutely, surprisingly enough, he's probably the number one receiver on the Saints right now. Chris Olave is just not having a good year this year so far. And
Ask his brother.
okay. wait, what was it, like 0 targets or something?
Yeah, he was like 1 target in the second half.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, it's very surprising to say this, but
No, keep going.
no, I'm gonna sit here in silence.
Wait, what?
I'm gonna sit here in silence. No, yeah, I mean, Rashid Shaheed is a deep threat. But even if you get the ball in his hands in like short yardage situations, he can turn into a big play. I mean, yeah, he's been exceptionally well for the Saints this year. He's definitely been Derek Carr's favorite target. And yeah, I would still like to see Chris Olave still be their number 1 because I think Rashid Shaheed would be a really good number 2 for that team alongside with Alvin Kamara as their running back. But I mean, are you guys surprised at this? I mean, I know like the past couple years, Rashid Shaheed has been like a great like utility player for them. You know, he uses him on special teams a lot, but I mean, I feel like he's been a really solid number 2 for them right now.
Okay, can I tell you why I'm surprised by it?
Why?
It has nothing to do with Rashid Shaheed.
Okay.
Derek Carr, number 1. Number 2, that offensive line. And number 3, their play caller, Clint Kubiak. Like, literally everything in the Saints offense screams ass. And somehow he's still performing. Like,
I mean, yeah, like I said, like Chris Olave isn't even performing right now. So.
Hey,
But I mean,
give it to week 12, and Rashid Shaheed might be the next guy arrested with Derek Carr. You never know. I mean, are we not going to talk about the collapse of the Saints right now? Like,
Oh my.
I mean,
We
bro,
got
we all said, like I said this, like they were pretenders.
and I
sent the video.
said the same thing too. But I'm just saying, like,
They lost to the Chiefs.
And the Falcons and the Bucks.
okay, you know what the
Overtime
alternative to that
to
is?
the Falcons.
You know what the alternative to that is? Win
No, it wasn't.
and win.
No, it wasn't. Overtime was with the Bucks. We won.
Whatever,
We won in a
dude.
game-winning field goal.
Whatever.
We should not have won that game.
Whatever. Okay.
Win and win. Just win.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, I definitely think Rashid
Win.
Shaheed has been really solid. Can we do honorable mentions too?
Yeah,
we
this
should
is
know
also,
we-
okay, yeah. Sorry, we are open to the undrafted free agent period now.
All right,
Everyone has 1 signing.
All right.
Okay, yeah. Wait, do you want me to go first because it's Snake? You want me to go again?
We can sneak.
Yeah, we can
Okay.
say it. Yeah.
So I was kind of debating between Rashid Shaheed and this guy, but I'm gonna go with another player like Rashid Shaheed. I'm gonna go with Jamison Williams.
I just signed up for more money. Sorry.
Dude, Chris is getting all of his.
He's got more team.
No, but this is the thing.
More
He had
team
3
interest.
picks. He had the number 1 overall
You went
pick. You
with-
cannot complain about not getting your guy.
You went with Alec Pierce, bro.
He had more team interest in my team. So.
All right. No, yeah. I mean, I don't think it's really wild to say like that. Like Jamison Williams is like he's obviously not their 1. Amon-Ra is their 1. But I mean, so far through the year, I mean, Jamison Williams has been putting up crazy numbers. Like he's finally been healthy enough to be on the field, and he's the deep threat on that Lions offense. I mean, the Lions offense has everything right now. I mean, they're probably the scariest offense in the NFL. But
Yeah, but he also played the Seahawks defense.
yeah, but they played other teams. Like they put 50 points on the Cowboys.
Yeah, no. I mean, he's been amazing. You know, I thought that knee injury would really take away from his speed and agility, but he
Yeah.
looks as fast as he's ever looked.
I mean, when you have an OC like Ben Johnson, like there's just like he can put you in so many different positions
Hey.
to succeed.
Whoa.
Why is everything gotta be? That's not even wild. Bro. We gonna talk about what you said before this video?
This is our first take. What are you talking about?
All right, Brandon, what's your
Okay.
what's your
They'll
free
never
agent pick?
know. Never know.
See, this is this could be a controversial one. So if you guys don't agree as this person is a breakout player, then I have another option. I was gonna go with Chris Godwin.
No.
I don't agree.
You don't agree with that?
Because he had his breakout year a couple years ago.
Okay, that's fair. Okay. So my
I was just gonna mess with you. Like you could have said anyone. I would have said
I
no,
would've said
but
too. But
but
he
no,
definitely
no,
is.
that's definitely not a breakout.
He's a
Okay.
great.
I
he's a great
just
receiver.
think that this year, like Chris Godwin is, I mean, he's gonna go on pace for like I think probably like 10, 12 touchdowns, and like that's actually insane because I think he's becoming more of a red zone threat than Mike Evans.
It's crazy to say because yeah, like usually like Chris Godwin is the guy to get them there, and then Mike Evans they'll just throw a fade
Yeah.
to Mike Evans.
But
and
now
he'll-
it's just like
yeah.
Chris
But
Godwin
That
just
offense is amazing this year.
yeah.
Well,
no.
Chris Godwin did nothing against the Falcons, so I mean he's a bum. But
Pretty much.
Okay, so my
Wait, what did you do against the Seahawks?
my pick. I see this is another one. Okay, maybe you guys may not agree with this
Okay,
again,
okay.
but I have another
No,
pick ready for it
just
instead.
spit it out.
I was gonna say
I don't
Brian
agree.
Robinson.
Okay.
Oh, that's a great one.
I think Brian Robinson.
I was thinking about that one. too.
I think Brian Robinson. It's really helping that they have a quarterback now, and like the run game is opening up because of that. Before it was just like let's just give Robinson the ball and see what he can do with it. And like now, and I think now that he has more of like a rotation because they have Eckler as well too. Like that really opens things up for him too. Like you're gonna see a lot more guys in the modern day NFL succeed with a 2-back system, right? Getting that time to really just do their job and then have the other guy do what he's good at. And Brian Robinson, I mean, he's just punching teams in the mouth right now. And I think it helps that he has an athletic quarterback that keeps the defensive line honest and the linebackers as well. But, yeah, I mean, Brian Robinson, many men. I mean, he came back from
the story
he came back from blah, 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 you know?
We'll see if Ricky Pearsall can kind of, be like that too, but.
Yeah, I don't know. But I mean, honestly, I'm happy for a lot of the players in Washington, especially the ones that have been here through all of the shit. Because
Terry McLaurin.
Yeah.
And you know he's happy right now.
And Terry McLaurin, he's on a break, but
and
Brian Robinson, and they all stayed.
There.
Yeah, they all believed, and so Brian Robinson again, he got shot at one point.
Yeah, Ryan Kerrigan.
Right.
Ryan Kerrigan. Hey, bro, I'm telling you, they'll never forget that D-line. Ryan Kerrigan, Matthew Ioannidis. Oh, wait, also, I feel bad for talking about the Commanders. Sad news just came out, I think, yesterday that, what's his name?
Jonathan Allen.
Yeah, Jonathan
Allen. He
tore
he hurt his pec.
Hurt his pec, okay.
Dylan's making
Sorry,
some
my bad, guys. I just saw he got injured.
He tore his pec, which is right here, according to Dylan.
Yeah.
But
usually season ending is with the leg.
I did not know about this news, so that is bad news.
Yeah, that is very bad.
Yeah. Well, they have Drazon Newton, who they took in the second round, which was confusing in itself. It was like, why are you taking an interior defensive lineman when you have Jonathan Allen?
Yeah, the GMs are like Chris.
I told him.
Oh.
They just know.
Yeah.
I was like, hey,
what do you
guys.
mean they just know?
Yeah.
I don't think he ran back to his bag to go check on his draft board, right?
That's terrible.
I think they just know who they're gonna pick. You know.
I called. I was like, hey man, I had a dream last night. I
had
don't
a
feel
dream.
good about Jonathan Allen today.
What's up with you guys having dreams?
Well, I had a dream that Ashton Diddy was going to run under
I
50
had a
yards against
dream.
UH, but that's why it was a
fantasy
dream.
team.
that's why it was a dream. So.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, if you're still here, yeah.
Off topic. All right, final UDFA.
Do you guys want to
pick.
have one more round?
I think this is
Two signees. Yeah.
I'm surprised you even still have players since
I have two
they're
more,
not
so that's
like.
why.
All right. That
You
last,
can stay here too.
Wait,
You can
this
stay here
last round has to be super brief though. This is
Yeah.
this is we're at the point where it's like training camp. We need 90 players. We just signed this guy, and most guys would be like, who is that? Like, it's okay. We just need players in the building.
All right. I don't have a quarterback yet. My pick right now is going to be Justin Fields.
That's a.
Maybe he hasn't.
I was thinking about that, but
he hasn't broken out to be a superstar. Okay, that's why he's probably slipped this far. But he's gone 4-2 with not an inspiring offense, and he's got 10 touchdowns to 1 interception. I mean, he's proven himself to be a
good enough
mid to high tier quarterback, or upper mid tier quarterback for the Steelers. Maybe he hasn't wowed the Steelers enough because he's going to get benched this week, which I think is the wrong move. But he's got a career in the NFL.
Hey, Russell Wilson's on a short string because of what he did. Like one game, they're probably gonna throw Justin Fields back out there. So
I think so too.
Yeah, I saw you making a disgusted face.
Yeah,
so,
because Justin Fields is not broken out. He is not broken out. He's just overly protective of the ball, and he's on a better team. That's it. And he's benched. If he was really breaking out this year, he's still playing. But there's obviously still some doubt within the organization, and he's not playing this week.
That's the wrong move. It's the wrong move to bench him.
Whether it's the wrong move or not, I think if he was really like a breakout, you keep him on there. And you say, hey, this is the reason why. This is a big reason why we're winning. Why would you not keep him out there?
Well, when your number one wide receiver is not running routes, it's not much you can do.
I mean, again, I think a big reason why Justin Fields is getting benched is because at the end of the day, he limits the offense. And don't get me wrong, you're right. He's done a great job of protecting the ball and not having losing type plays, like literally losing a game for a team. But at the same time, I think they still want to be able to push the ball downfield. I think they believe that Russ gives them a better chance to do that, which is why they're going to throw him out there. But
as you guys know, I am a Seahawks fan. I love Russell Wilson. I think he got way too much hate for the season he had last year. He played really well.
He did.
Well, he had upper 20 touchdowns and only 7 interceptions.
Yeah, I think Justin Fields is kind of playing like what Russ did. Like he's being very safe with the ball, and he's doing enough with the defense that he has where they'll win games. But it's going into the playoffs, do you really want that guy as your, are you confident with that guy as your starting quarterback? And
maybe this breakout for me is less of you're now a superstar established in the league and more of Justin Fields can get a starting deal next year or on his next team.
No, I mean, when you look at his past years, yes, he's definitely broken out in a sense. He's not turning over the ball nearly as much, and he's scoring. But I mean, if you just watch the film, he's playing really safe right now. He doesn't run as much anymore. which I guess is a good thing for the Steelers right now. But yeah,
I mean, I'm not a quarterback.
He's playing within the system really well.
I don't know who's open down there and who isn't. So maybe there actually is no one to throw to.
Are you a quarterback or?
Not yet.
Okay.
I'm trying out soon.
I'm just gonna name a guy. We don't have to talk about it. I think Mike Hughes has absolutely broken out in our secondary this year. I mean, he's been very solid for us. So, he's been definitely. What you looking at? Why are you side eyeing, man? I'm serious, bro.
I side eye and look at my full face at you.
No, yeah, you're like. But no, yeah. Mike Hughes has been. We don't have to harp on it too much, but he's been really solid for us this year.
What if Mike Hughes is my pick, man?
Yeah,
That's actually a pretty selfish move to do that.
Yeah, but Mike Hughes is not your pick, so.
It was Mike Hughes.
I got one more pick.
Look at me down the eye and see that Mike Hughes was your pick.
It was Mike Hughes.
No, it wasn't. Yeah.
My next pick.
You don't like Mike Hughes. So.
Really quick in this round. Oh, sorry, not pick. Signing.
Yes, you're signing.
My quick signing. Tank Bigsby. Got a great marketable name. ETN has lost a job.
No, he hasn't. But
No.
He will.
No, he
Bigsby's
won't.
moving.
No, he won't. Let's go.
Moving on.
Wow, this is a tough one.
Oh, did I actually take Mike Hughes?
I was gonna say.
No, you were not. That is such a
I
joke.
missed one.
Just say it, bro. Just say the name.
What if you pick him?
No, just say the name. You're not gonna.
Van Ginkel.
No.
He's been so good this year.
I mean, is Van Ginkel? I don't know. That's a tough one. I think if Van Ginkel is going to be considered a breakout candidate, he needs to up the sack number. Because I think right now he's at like 3. He finished last season with like.
He's
6
been
or
really
7.
really good this year.
But yeah, I mean, in terms of.
I mean, yeah, but then again, like when they signed him, I was like, oh, like that's a solid signing. Like,
yeah,
that's a signing that like won't make like the. Like the headlines a lot, but I mean, if you're looking at it, and you're just going through like free agency signings, you're like, oh wow, like that's a very solid signing.
Like Calais
and you guys
Campbell.
got him for like no money too, so.
Okay. This is my last signing. I'm gonna go with Jaden Reed. I think Jaden Reed has officially solidified himself as the number 1 receiver in Green Bay. Whether they want to acknowledge him as a number, because I know that they asked LaFleur at the beginning of the season. They said, "Who is the wide receiver 1 on the Packers?" He said, "We don't have a wide receiver 1. We just have 3 wide receivers that play." Most BS statement of all time. It's Jaden Reed, or 4. Yeah, but
Shout
yeah,
out Dante
yeah,
Bates.
but Jaden Reed. I mean, like. There have been some games this year where it's like, oh my God, like he can really just take it over for this offense right now, and in an offense too that, mind you, is run first. So I think he's doing a great job. Jordan Love does need somebody to step up in that role eventually, and I think you pretty much have your guy in Jaden Reed. Like he has widened the gap significantly between Romeo Doubs, Dontavian Wicks, who a lot of people would have had on this list before the season started, and Christian Watson, who has failed to do what they thought he would, which has basically been in that place that Jaden Reed is now. So
he's been hurt, hasn't he?
He has, but I mean that's part of it.
Who?
All right, come on.
Christian Watson.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, but Christian Watson has not been like what we thought he was going. Like he was a first round pick. Like he should be the number 1, and he's never really proved that he was.
He's not amazing.
And
no, but I mean, like that's the thing. Like at the end of last season, you could have made the case for all 4 of these guys potentially being the wide receiver.
I would say
one guy has stepped up this year.
I would say like at the end of last season, a lot of people thought like Romeo Doubs was gonna be number 1.
Exactly.
And then he's had some.
I still like Romeo
issues.
Doubs. He's got some issues though.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like you got to show the prowess. But I mean, the skill is there. He had 2 touchdowns this week. So, and then like you said, Dontavian Wicks, like he's amazing too. So,
I mean, am I happy with this pick? Yeah, I would have loved Mike Hughes, but no, I'm just kidding.
Is your last signing going to be on this team?
Oh, no, I'm done. Because I thought we had 1 signing, so I had Mike Hughes.
Oh, we impromptu made it 2 signings.
Zach Charbonnet.
Oh hell no.
Oh.
No. I'm actually serious on that one. Like,
yeah.
I think in the what was it?
Get out of here.
I think it was like
Zach Charbonnet was complete ass before the season started.
Wait, was it?
I know.
It was 2 games. Kenneth Walker was out. Because Zach Charbonnet absolutely went off on those games.
You could even make the argument this year that he's a better receiving back than Kenneth Walker. I think on paper you would say that Kenneth Walker is, but they give him the ball a lot. In space.
And that, and then I mean, like he's a very really efficient, solid runner. I mean, like
that doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound right coming out of my mouth. But he has like 4 receptions every game.
Yeah, he's a great 1-2 punch to Kenneth Walker.
Because Geno Smith throws like 55
Okay,
times.
think about it. Before Ryan Grubb came into this offense, Zach Charbonnet was pretty much AJ Dillon.
Yeah, I think he's still
ass. No, he's not.
No, he's not bad.
Chris, terrible.
Chris.
That's
AJ
Dillon
Dillon would replace Aaron Jones and get like 14 carries for like 52 yards. Okay, Zach Charbonnet in his off games, I started him on fantasy, bro. Like he was very solid. I think he had over 100 yards one game rushing. Like
because he started.
Okay, that's exactly what you want out of your backup running back.
Sure,
Whenever the starting running back isn't healthy, you want him to step up and do exactly what he's doing. And that's exactly what Charbonnet does.
Maybe I'm critical.
No,
Okay.
you are being critical
being
because
critical.
Kenneth Walker hasn't played a full season ever, and to have a stable running back behind him, I think is so important. Just like Dylan said.
You can't say that. He's only played 2 years.
I mean, he's not. He's
Three.
I mean,
Bro, I
what,
like Kenneth
what
Walker.
have you seen before this year that made you say, okay, Zach Charbonnet might have a chance? There was nothing. I gave up on that guy.
When the Seahawks picked him, I was like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Exactly. And
What
And,
the
and,
hell?
and, and he's proving it this year that like he's a very valuable running back too.
But I don't think he's not valuable. I just think it was a bad pick at the time. But he's okay. But when you watch,
I'm just saying this. I'm not saying he's an insane guy, man. I'm just saying he broke out from last year because he did nothing last year.
I think he's like Devin Singletary. He's like Zach Moss.
Like Devin Singletary, like on
Like,
the
he's
Bills, or like Devin Singletary on like the Giants, or Devin Singletary like on the Texans. Like what are we talking about here, man? Because they're all different players. So.
I would say.
I'm thinking
I would say.
Bills. Devin Singletary.
I would say
on the
Devin
Bills.
Singletary.
On the
Texans.
Texans, yeah.
Yeah.
Devin Singletary was actually solid on the Texans.
I-
No, because
like he was so
even-
solid, he earned himself another contract on the Giants.
Even on his during his time in Houston, like he became more of a receiving threat too. I think more so than he was in Buffalo.
As a receiving threat, I definitely think so.
Buffalo hasn't really given the running back a chance to catch out of the backfield until James Cook, until now.
James looks good.
But they have to. I mean, their offense has to evolve with what their roster looks like. But
I just think Kenneth Walker's so much more dynamic, and he's like a true third down
No,
back.
yes, Kenneth Walker is your one. I'm not arguing.
No,
that.
I
I'm
understand.
not arguing.
I
that.
understand.
It's just like,
I just think maybe Charbonnet's been romanticized.
I'll give you a great example. It's so important to have like that change of pace running back. Like right now, like on the Falcons, we have Bijan who like he's shifty, he's fast, and then they put Algier in the game, and he'll just put his head down, and he'll get like 6-7 yards in the carry. It's important to have like that change of pace, you know. And I think
Every team does it
And
nowadays.
yeah, and like I think Charbonnet is a perfect example of that. Like Kenneth Walker, like he's very shifty, he's fast, and then Charbonnet, like at least when I watch the games, like Charbonnet, he puts his head down, he puts his pad right into the defender, and you know.
yeah. Oh, hey, if we're gonna go with examples close to home, I mean, like I think the Vikings Jets game, I think was a great example. Like not every team has that, which is why we went out and traded for Cam Akers. But like Aaron Jones goes down,
Myles Gaskin.
Ty Chandler and Myles Gaskin might have combined for 20
So I'm saying it's
20 yards.
it's
after
very
that.
What happened to Dwayne
Like
McBride?
but here's Dwayne McBride.
He was my fantasy sleeper
Okay,
last year.
here- wow. Dwayne McBride wouldn't even start in the UFL. But like the thing is like whether that
Would he
is
start in the
your
URFL?
no, he wouldn't start in the UFL.
No, the URFL. Would he turn the URFL?
Oh,
It's him or
I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. But
Donovan.
like but here's the thing. Like even if Charbonnet is not like your ideal back because he's not the most elusive guy, he's not the most shifty guy out in space. Like this guy's gonna beat you with power more times than not. You have to acknowledge the fact that he's still carrying the load.
Chris, it's important, bro. I'm telling you, dude, if you're a defender and you're like, this running back's in the game all the time, and he's like, oh, he's shifty and he's fast, and I'm going to change my game plan around him. And then, like, a guy comes in and you go straight into your chest, like, boss. But, like, you know, like, well, I don't really know that's boss, but, you know, like, it's important to have that. Like, I'm telling you, like, I would never want this to happen, but, like, if something happened to Bijan Robinson in the game and he was out for the game, like, I feel very confident with Tyler Algier being the next running back up.
I
you know?
guess it's true.
And I think you should feel the same way about Zach Charbonnet. Like,
It's nice to have a change of pace back. Charbonnet's great.
Yep. Dalvin Cook, Alexander Madison.
Yeah, I mean they were good for 1 year.
Okay, honestly,
Great example.
Madison was very similar though because Madison would come in when Dalvin Cook got hurt. He'd have a couple games where he was like 100 yards, and they felt so good that when Dalvin Cook's contract expired, they said Madison could be the starter, and look what happened.
I have a better example for the Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
Jared McKinnon and
Latavius Murray.
Like I think that was a great because Latavius Murray.
Oh
was
yeah,
your
okay,
power back.
but that was more of like a 1-2 punch.
L
Like this one,
trade.
you have a
Yeah, a solid
one.
one.
This is
Yeah,
like
yeah.
this is like 1A, 1B with McKinnon and Murray.
But I'm just but I'm talking like the pace. Like the pace is important to have. Like it's important to have. Like you don't want to just have like all receivers that are speedy.
Pace.
You don't want to have all players that are speedy and all that because if that defense can match your speed, like it's like.
Yeah. This year could that be Brian Robinson and Austin Eckler?
No, I think Bijan Robinson.
Austin
Tyler
Eckler
Algier is the
is
best
looking-
example of that right now.
Eckler's looking weird.
I think
fast.
both guys win with power though.
Yeah, I mean, no, but that's the thing about Bijan. Like he has everything. But like Tyler Algier is definitely more of a power back than Bijan is. But yeah, Bijan will put his head down. But like I mean, when you look at Bijan's highlights, like it's him like breaking someone's ankles. Like you're not gonna see Tyler
that's
Algier
true.
breaking
That's
someone's
true.
ankles. Like you're like I don't know if you saw the clip, dude. He got like a 15-yard carry and he got touched like 2 yards into the carry, and like he was literally like dragging like 6 defenders on his back. It was crazy. But it's good to have that that different pace. So yeah, that's all I have, man.
Wow. From a breakout draft to pacing of running.
That's so good about the threesome. We just.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get good chemistry.
All right, guys. Well, hopefully we'll see you next week if Braden decides to upload this video.
If you've made it this far, thank you for sticking around. We really appreciate it.
You want to tell them what you told me earlier? Or?
Yeah, I'm good.
Sure. It's the end of the video now. You sure?
Yeah, no, we cut that out for a reason.
All right, guys. Braden, you have anything?
No.
All right.
See you guys.
See you. Peace.